We all condemn the devastating attacks that took place in Edmonton and in Las Vegas this week. But is that enough?
كتاب الله دستوري وخير الخلق أسوتنا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're all doing well, inshallah. Now, when I first heard about what happened in Edmonton with the supposed terrorist attack in which a man who had an ISIS flag in a U-Haul truck pretty much drove into 4 people on the street in downtown Edmonton, and that same man earlier actually stabbed a police officer repeatedly. Fortunately, nobody was killed, but regardless, that's still a devastating attack. People were injured and families were affected, and there's absolutely no excuse or no reason for this to be happening whatsoever. And when I first heard about this incident, the first thing that came to my mind was, please tell me it was not a Muslim. And unfortunately, when they had the press conference, they gave out the name of the suspect and it was a Muslim name. Then, to make things even worse, the very next day in Las Vegas, the largest mass killing in quite some time now occurred, in which 50 people were killed and 400 plus were injured at a concert in Las Vegas. Apparently some old 64-year-old man who had a bunch of guns in a hotel room. I don't know how that can even be allowed, but thanks to these gun laws, I guess it is allowed. He had all these guns in his hotel room, and he just starts spraying, killing people, and people, innocent people. Like, there was absolutely no reason for anyone to be injured or killed that day. But some guy goes and decides to start killing people, start massacring these people that are at a concert. And then at the end of it all, when he ends up dying as well, at first they start saying, oh, it's not a terrorist attack, it's some kind of lone wolf attack. Then they say that, oh, we're going to do some investigation. And then I heard earlier that apparently he converted to Islam a few months earlier before doing this action, and maybe that's what motivated him to do this. All this rubbish, all this nonsense that people were trying to spew out to try to get a good story out there. And the bottom line is, we have to remember that regardless of whether or not these were terrorist attacks, or the media is going to call them terrorist attacks, regardless of whether or not these people were Muslim or non-Muslim, regardless of whether or not they were immigrants or that they were born here, at the end of the day, these people killed and hurt innocent people, innocent human beings. Families were affected by this, and there was absolutely no reason for this to happen. Now what? After facing reality, after looking at what has happened, what we have no control over anymore because it's in the past, what do we do moving forward? And that's what this video is going to be about. The first thing is, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So we can't answer hate with hate. I think I heard that yesterday or the day before yesterday, and in Edmonton, there was a Muslim lady who was wearing the headscarf, wearing the hijab, and she was literally attacked in North Edmonton. She was pepper sprayed. And she did nothing wrong, just for wearing a headscarf, for being a Muslim, for believing what she believes in. She was attacked. It was a hate crime. It was something that was disrespectful and completely uncalled for. But when the world is the way it is today, with all this violence, all this confusion, all this nonsense, stuff like this happens, and it doesn't make it right. And that's where we have to step up and make things right. If we're not going to be a part of the solution, then we're a part of the problem. So I have just a couple of things that we can all work on starting today, inshallah, to help foster some more unity in our communities, and to also decrease the level of hate. Because the last year or so especially, there's been a dramatic increase in hate crimes, a dramatic increase in public racism and public hate, and we have to stop that. We have to put that to an end. We have to teach the coming generation that we are better than this. If someone has a different religion, or they believe something other than what you believe, if someone has a different skin color than you, if someone was born in a different country, none of that matters. We have to respect people for who they are, respect their decisions, as long as they're not harming anyone else, as long as they're respecting the people around them, we have to respect that person as a human being. We have to respect him as a child of Adam. And we are all children of Adam. So that's one thing. The next thing is, we have to start educating people. You know, especially the Muslim parents and the Muslim, like the older siblings that have younger siblings in the house, teach your brothers and sisters, teach your kids how to pray. I'm talking to the Muslim families right now. Teach them how to pray from a young age. Teach them the importance of Islam. Teach them the qualities and the character of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Give them an attachment to the Quran. Get them attached to the mosque from a young age. All of these things, these essentials in life for a Muslim, these things will lead to our youth not growing up to be radicalized. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. When a Muslim is born in a Muslim household, but they're raised as just a normal human being, they're not raised praying, they're not raised reading the Quran, they're not raised learning about what Islam truly teaches, and then they go into their high school years, university years, and they still don't know too much about Islam, and their interest starts, poking at them, and they start wanting to learn more about Islam. They're not going to go to the parents that never taught them for 20 plus years. They're not going to go to the mosque because they've never been to a mosque before. They're going to feel uncomfortable. They're going to go on the internet. And on the internet, although the internet can be a great tool for learning about anything, it can also be very dangerous if used improperly. You find all kinds of crazy websites, all kinds of crazy videos, people trying to brainwash our youth, and this is where radicalization starts. Okay, we need to make sure that we are educating our kids. We are educating our friends and our family and our siblings. If we are the ones educating them, if we are the ones taking them to the mosque, they're going to get a taste of Islam from the source and not from some random website that God knows who made. Then we're already taking a big step in the right direction. Another thing is, we need to make Islam more accessible to non-Muslims as well. Because the same thing for the non-Muslims. If they're going to want to learn about Islam, they see all these headlines in the news about some Muslim doing this or some Muslim doing that. A lot of them get interested. What does this religion actually teach? What does Islam call for? And if they go on the internet, they're going to find those same crazy websites, those same crazy people recording crazy videos, and they're going to start thinking that, you know what, this religion really is a religion of terrorism. When in reality, it's not. It's the most beautiful religion in the world. But we are doing it an injustice and a disservice by not teaching the lessons from this religion to the world. So that's just a couple things that we can all do from now to help really try to educate people, to try to get rid of the ignorance around us. And hopefully, if we can all learn to just accept one another for who we are, be accepting of the person next to you regardless of where they come from or what they believe in. If we can start practicing true love with each other, respecting someone and caring for them, loving for your neighbor what you love for yourself. Once we get these qualities into our character, we will see a better city of Edmonton. We will see a better Canada. We will see a better world. We will see so much improvement in all aspects of life. So I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give us the strength to increase in our unity. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our Muslim brothers and sisters around the world, those that are being targeted by hate crimes. And I also ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect and to guide the people who are scared, the non-Muslims even, that are scared of their Muslim neighbors. Because we truly aren't we're not scary people. We're not people that are here to harm you. In fact, we're people here to help you and to be friends with you and to live with you. So I really hope that after this video, if you don't know much about Islam, give Islam a chance. Go to your local mosque, talk to your local imam, and find out the truth for yourself. Stop going on the news, stop going on Google, and go straight to the source, inshallah. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. You can click that in the bottom of the video right here. You want to see last week's video, you can watch it in the top corner over here. And if you want to see a video on some practical tips to combat Islamophobia, you can click on the bottom corner over here. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.